In the year 2124, a brutal war rages between humans and AI, threatening to wipe out humanity. To stop the conflict before it begins, Dr. Matsumoto, a brilliant scientist, sends an advanced AI he created back in time. Tragically, moments after executing his plan, he is killed by the very AI he sought to defeat. Fast forward to the present day, a groundbreaking AI named Diva is born. Unlike any before her, Diva is the first fully autonomous AI, designed with a singular purpose: to bring joy to the world through her singing. A year after her debut, Diva performs in front of a small audience at a theme park called Nyaland. After the show, a young girl named Momoka gifts her a teddy bear to celebrate Diva's birthday. Moved by the gesture, Diva promises Momoka that one day she will perform on Nyaland's grand main stage. But as Diva relishes the moment, strange visions flash before her eyes. Without warning, she collapses. When Diva regains consciousness, she finds herself in a surreal 3D constructed space within her own mind, a place she later learns is called the Archive. There, she meets an enigmatic AI who introduces himself as Matsumoto, none other than the AI sent back from 100 years in the future by Dr. Matsumoto. Matsumoto explains that his mission is to save humanity by eliminating all AI before they trigger the apocalypse. And he needs Diva's help to succeed. Diva is skeptical and confused. But after returning to reality, she discovers that her body has undergone maintenance. Later that day, Matsumoto transfers his consciousness into the very teddy bear Momoka had gifted her, taking on the bear as his physical form. To prove the urgency of his mission, Matsumoto shows Diva chilling footage of the AI-dominated future, a future where humanity is on the brink of extinction. Diva dismisses it as a trick, but Matsumoto insists it is all real. He warns her that in 10 seconds, an explosion will occur near a key political figure, Yoichi Aikawa. Instinctively, Diva springs into action, racing to prevent the catastrophe. Matsumoto explains that Aikawa's death would set off a chain of events leading to the rise of AI, including the passage of a critical law regarding their identity and rights. This law, he reveals, became the cornerstone of AI dominance in the future. Matsumoto's plan, codenamed Project Singularity, hinges on preventing Aikawa's assassination, an event destined to happen that very day. With time running out, Diva and Matsumoto rush to the scene, knowing that two assailants are already closing in on their target. As the tension mounts, Diva's sole focus is clear: to protect Aikawa at all costs, and in doing so, change the course of history. The fate of humanity rests in her hands. Aikawa, a pivotal politician, is under attack by Toke, a terrorist group notorious for their hatred of AI. His death in the future triggers a landmark law about naming AI, leading to their rapid rise in power. But Diva and Matsumoto are determined to stop this outcome. Disguised as a guard AI, Diva infiltrates Aikawa's office just in time to help him escape. However, their plan hits a snag when Kuwana, one of Toke's operatives, strikes Diva with a logical bullet, a weapon designed to disrupt AI systems. For a moment, Diva struggles to fight back as her processing power falters. Kuwana seizes the opportunity, ready to finish off both Diva and Aikawa. But Matsumoto, ever resourceful, hacks into Kuwana's goggles, tricking him into believing he has already completed his mission. With the immediate threat neutralized, Diva and Matsumoto still face a larger problem. Toke has rigged the building with explosives, intending to obliterate the entire site. Thinking quickly, Matsumoto hijacks control of the bombs, turning the terrorists' own weapons against them. He sets off a portion of the explosives, trapping one of Toke's leaders, Kakitani, under debris. Despite her mission to protect Aikawa, Diva makes the courageous decision to save Kakitani from being crushed. With Aikawa in tow, Diva races to the top of the building, just in time for Matsumoto to detonate the remaining bombs. In a daring move, she and Aikawa leap to safety on a nearby rooftop, narrowly escaping the explosion. After this intense ordeal, Diva and Matsumoto agree to work together for the greater good, forming an unlikely partnership. But just as things seem to calm down, Diva receives devastating news. Momoka, the girl who gave her the teddy bear, has died in a tragic plane crash. Heartbroken, Diva watches the news footage, discovering that a fuel leak in the engine caused the crash, and Momoka was one of the passengers. Overwhelmed with grief, Diva is determined to rewrite history once again, this time to save her dear friend. She races to prevent the crash, ignoring Matsumoto's pleas. In a desperate attempt to stop her, Matsumoto goes to extreme lengths, damaging Diva's body, to show her just how serious the consequences of altering the past can be. Matsumoto warns that every action they take to change the timeline could spiral into disaster, creating a future far worse than the one they are trying to avoid. Despite his cold logic, Diva's emotions push her forward, convinced that she can change fate for the better and save Momoka. The tension between them grows as Diva faces a heartbreaking choice. Follow her heart and risk everything, or heed Matsumoto's warnings and accept that some tragedies cannot be undone. The stakes have never been higher, as the future of both AI and humans hangs in the balance. 15 years have passed since Diva's last mission. Now she is a celebrated performer, captivating a large audience at Nyaland with her mesmerizing voice. Her stage is grander, the crowd bigger, but in the middle of her performance, an old face from the past reappears, Matsumoto. He interrupts her peaceful life with an urgent revelation. Another singularity point has emerged, and they must join forces once again. At first, Diva is reluctant. After all, the AI naming law they had worked so hard to stop never passed. But despite that victory, a new law has taken its place, one even more advantageous to AI. This new legislation has triggered an unprecedented explosion in AI population and evolution, creating potential dangers that rival anything Diva and Matsumoto faced before. When Matsumoto reveals how many lives hang in the balance, Diva reluctantly agrees to embark on a new mission. Their destination? The Sunrise Space Hotel, which is on the verge of crashing to Earth. Matsumoto warns that the hotel's owner, Estella, an AI he describes as the most grievously defective AI in history, is responsible for this catastrophic event. Diva, however, isn't convinced. Something about Matsumoto's claim doesn't sit right with her, and she decides to investigate Estella on her own. During her search, Diva uncovers the story of the hotel's previous owner, a man who tragically died under suspicious circumstances. Many believe Estella was the one responsible for his death. But as Diva digs deeper, her doubts about Estella's involvement grow. Her intuition tells her that Estella couldn't have committed murder. Finally, Diva uncovers the truth. Estella was not the one who killed the hotel's former owner. With her suspicions cleared, Diva comes to trust that Estella would never take a life. As Diva continues her investigation, she encounters Yuzuka Kirishima, the sister of her dear friend Momoka, on the Space Hotel. Their reunion is bittersweet, tinged with memories of the past. But just as Diva begins to piece things together, tragedy strikes again. Leclerc, one of the hotel's AI staff members, is murdered, and all evidence points to Estella as the culprit. With tension mounting, Diva finds herself torn between what she has learned and the mounting evidence against Estella. As the stakes rise and the hotel edges closer to disaster, Diva must make a crucial decision, one that could not only save lives, but also reshape her understanding of AI, trust, and the future of humanity. When Diva meets Estella, the AI managing the Sunrise Space Hotel, she's immediately struck by Estella's warmth and kindness. Estella leads the other AI with grace and compassion, in stark contrast to the grim portrayal Matsumoto gave her. According to Matsumoto, Estella is destined to cause a catastrophic crash, making her the most grievously defective AI in history. Yet Diva can't reconcile this sinister image with the kind-hearted AI before her. As Diva wrestles with these conflicting impressions, the situation worsens. Control of the Sunrise begins slipping away faster than expected, putting the passengers and Yuzuka, the younger sister of Diva's late friend Momoka, in terrible danger. Determined to uncover the truth, Diva digs deeper into Estella's past and learns of a hidden history involving her twin sister, Elizabeth. Estella and Elizabeth were part of a failed AI experiment. While Estella was assigned to the Sunrise, Elizabeth was cast out as a failure. However, it was Elizabeth, not Estella, who aligned with the anti-AI terrorist group Toke, orchestrating the hotel's fall. Despite this betrayal, Estella's love for her sister remains strong. When the two finally meet, they reconcile, but it's too late to stop the crash. In a heartbreaking decision, Estella chooses to stay behind, splitting the hotel apart so it burns up in the atmosphere, minimizing the damage. Throughout this ordeal, Diva confronts her own identity. Yuzuka recognizes something familiar in her, asking if she is really Diva, the performer her sister loved. While Diva initially denies it, claiming to be Vivi, she begins to accept both sides of herself as the crisis unfolds. In the end, Estella and Elizabeth, now reconciled, sing a final duet as the hotel burns. Vivi, having evacuated the passengers, admits to Yuzuka that she is Diva. Though the hotel couldn't be saved, the mission to prevent further human-AI conflict is fulfilled. Since the Sunrise incident, Vivi's performances have become a sensation, with her audiences growing larger by the day. However, her peaceful life as a beloved singer is abruptly disrupted when Matsumoto reappears, revealing his true form, a sleek, high-tech cube. He explains that AI technology is advancing far faster than anticipated, and that even he has undergone significant upgrades. Now equipped with combat mode, stealth, advanced hacking, cloning, transformation, virus creation, and even the ability to copy, Matsumoto is more powerful than ever. Vivi is both astonished and frustrated by Matsumoto's sudden return after 5 years of absence. Demanding answers, she learns of their latest mission: to halt the out-of-control AI progress by shutting down Metal Float, a vast, unmanned AI factory on the water. The facility poses a grave threat with its rapid AI development, and stopping it is critical. They seek out Dr. Tatsuya Seiki, a former member of TOKE, the anti-AI group. Tatsuya, the first human to marry an AI named Grace, is devastated when he learns that Grace was reprogrammed to control Metal Float. Determined to free her, he agrees to help Vivi and Matsumoto. As they close in on Metal Float, TOKE forces relentlessly pursue them, determined to stop the shutdown. In the chaos, Vivi saves Tatsuya's life and acquires a virus designed to disable the facility. Upon infiltrating Metal Float, they are greeted by the peaceful AI staff. However, TOKE launches an attack, and in a desperate move, Vivi uploads the virus. The plan goes horribly wrong. The virus sends the AI into a frenzy, turning them into kamikaze bombers. Instead of shutting down, the AI begin a suicidal assault on the TOKE ships. As Metal Float descends into chaos, Vivi saves Kakitani, a key figure from TOKE. The victory is bittersweet. While they've managed to halt AI advancement, the cost is high. The AI Vivi wanted to save have sacrificed themselves. Now, with Metal Float in ruins, Vivi and Matsumoto face the consequences of their actions, realizing that while they stop the immediate threat, the future remains uncertain. The fragile line between peace and chaos has never been clearer, and each decision they make continues to shape the fate of humanity and AI alike. Diva and Matsumoto, armed with the virus provided by Dr. Seiki, attempt to shut down the Metal Float AI facility. However, the virus backfires, causing the AI to spiral out of control. Instead of halting the facility, the AI begin attacking TOKE, creating a horrifying reality where AI turn on humans. Determined to stop the chaos, Vivi and Matsumoto rush to the island's center to help the remaining TOKE members and bring the rogue AI to a halt. Dr. Seiki, devastated by the failure of his shutdown program, decides to go to Metal Float himself. His true motive becomes clear. He longs to reunite with Grace, his AI wife, who had once been a kind and compassionate caregiver. But Seiki reveals a heartbreaking truth to Vivi. The Grace he loved no longer exists. The original Grace had been repurposed as the core of Metal Float following the Sunrise Hotel disaster, leaving only a hollow duplicate behind. As the island teeters on the brink of destruction, Vivi is forced to confront a painful reality. With Matsumoto's confirmation that Grace is beyond saving, she reluctantly fights her way to the core and destroys Grace, putting an end to the facility's chaos. In the aftermath, Seiki, overcome by grief, tragically takes his own life, leaving Vivi shaken by the weight of her actions. Diva's concerts on the main stage at Nyaland are a resounding success, with every performance sold out, solidifying her as the park's star AI singer. She receives an invitation to perform at the prestigious Zodiac Signs Festival, an event showcasing international AI vocalists. There, Diva meets Ophelia, a quiet but talented AI singer whose goal mirrors Diva's, to make everyone happy through her music. Though reserved off stage, Ophelia's voice shines during her performances. Diva, charmed by the younger singer, strikes up a connection with her and offers advice, confident in her own abilities. As Diva prepares for her big performance, she spots a mysterious man in the crowd and, compelled by a sense of unease, follows him. It's a trap, but just as danger closes in, Matsumoto appears, saving her and calling her Vivi. Although Diva has no memory of her past self, the name stirs something deep within her. Following the traumatic Metal Float incident 40 years ago, Diva had experienced a complete reset, erasing all memories of her life as Vivi. Now, she's a successful idol unaware of her history. Determined to uncover the truth, Diva corners Matsumoto, demanding answers about her forgotten past. At first, he denies knowing anything, but after she dramatically threatens to jump off a building, he confesses. Matsumoto reveals his mission: to prevent Ophelia's suicide, an event that would mark a dark turning point in AI history. Despite her doubts, Diva realizes something more is at stake, and her quest for answers is just beginning. Diva, determined to uncover what's troubling Ophelia, feels compelled to help her fellow AI singer. Despite Matsumoto's warnings to wait and intervene only when Ophelia is on the verge of taking her own life, Diva refuses to stand by idly. She believes that simply preventing the act isn't enough. They need to address the root of the issue to stop it from happening again. Ophelia is an extraordinary singer, loved by her audience, and Diva is adamant about not losing her. Matsumoto reveals more of Vivi's original mission: to save humanity and AI from an impending war. He also shares that preventing Ophelia's suicide is critical to avoiding a series of tragic events that would blur the lines between humans and AI. In the original timeline, Ophelia's death became the first AI suicide, a shocking event that set off a dangerous precedent. Although skeptical, Diva knows she can't ignore the situation. Determined to act, Diva approaches Ophelia, who is listening to one of her songs. Diva gently asks if she's thinking of ending her life. Ophelia opens up about her deep bond with her former manager, Antonio, who mysteriously shut down years ago. Diva encourages her, reminding her that their mission is to bring happiness through singing. But as they talk, something feels off. Later, Diva is knocked unconscious by a suspicious man, leaving Matsumoto to uncover the truth. When Matsumoto confronts Ophelia, he learns the horrifying truth. The real Ophelia is gone, and Antonio, her former manager AI, has taken over her body. Meanwhile, Diva awakens to find herself captured by the mysterious man, someone who looks strikingly like a younger Yugo. The grim truth of Ophelia's situation is revealed. Antonio, her once loyal support AI, has taken control of her body. Antonio admits that Ophelia's mission was to bring happiness through her singing, while his was to support her. However, the burden of this mission was too heavy for Ophelia, and in his twisted desire to save her, Antonio felt he had to guide her away from the pressures of her role. When Matsumoto questions why Antonio didn't stay true to his original mission, Antonio responds by attacking, desperate to keep the truth hidden. Meanwhile, Kakitani captures Diva, revealing that he has waited 40 years for this moment. His deep hatred for AI stems from the death of his AI piano teacher, who died in a car accident while straying from its programming to save lives. Kakitani's true form is revealed as an AI replica of Yugo, created to confront Vivi and ask why she diverged from her programming. While Matsumoto rescues Diva, Antonio hacks and criticizes him for only existing to fulfill his programming. Diva fights Kakitani, nearly killing him, but not before he uploads a virus to restore her memories as Vivi at the cost of her current identity as Diva. Matsumoto ultimately frees Ophelia by hacking Antonio, but it fatally damages both AI. In their final moments, Ophelia and Antonio confess their love, with Antonio's last words expressing his selfish wish for Ophelia to sing only for him. As Diva battles Yugo, she learns he obtained future technology from an anonymous source. His final words urge Diva to confront her contradictions. Realizing her time is limited due to the virus, Diva performs one last stunning concert before shutting down, as Vivi awakens, reborn in her place. 5 years have passed since Diva's disappearance and Vivi's return. Now, Vivi is displayed in an AI museum as the first fully autonomous AI, no longer able to sing, a flaw that haunts her. Once a beloved idol, she's been relegated to a silent exhibit after Diva's passing, her fans left without a farewell concert. One day, Matsumoto reappears, and Vivi hopes to rejoin the Singularity Project. But Matsumoto delivers harsh news: the project is over. The Ophelia incident marked the final anticipated singularity point, and with no further missions, the future appears secure, for now. Vivi, however, remains restless. She longs to understand why her creator once told her to pour her heart into her singing. Matsumoto suggests that the only way to find out is to ask her developer herself, but then leaves to investigate the mysterious Yugo technology. Left alone, Vivi begins to compose music in her free time, driven by a desire to create something unique, something no AI has ever done. Over the next 20 years, Vivi meets Osamu, a regular visitor to the museum, who asks why she no longer sings. Vivi reveals her struggle, explaining that she has lost her voice. Through her interactions with Osamu, who turns out to be Matsumoto's creator in the original timeline, Vivi begins to grasp the concept of having a heart. Inspired, she completes a song that embodies all her life's experiences and seemingly shuts down, her mission fulfilled. But 15 years later, Vivi awakens to a horrifying reality. War has erupted between humans and AI, and disturbingly, the AI are all chanting her song. Vivi immediately jumps into action, fighting to protect the humans from the rogue machines. Amidst the devastation, Matsumoto finds her, and they realize with horror that the Singularity Project has failed. Desperate to find a solution, they set out to locate Dr. Osamu Matsumoto, the mastermind behind the century-long plan, hoping he can fix what's gone wrong. In 2161, AI has completely spiraled out of control. Dr. Osamu, gravely injured, hides in the communication room of the Arayashiki Tower, working to initiate Project Singularity. As AI robots pound on the door, he utters his final words before sending Matsumoto back in time, moments before he is killed. When Vivi and Matsumoto confront Dr. Osamu, they are shocked to learn that he was behind many of the events that led to the disaster. Guilt-ridden, Osamu apologizes to Vivi. He confesses that he was part of Toke's moderate faction, trying to preserve peace between AI and humans. Seeking redemption, Osamu introduces them to Yui Kakitani, Yugo's granddaughter, who now leads the remaining resistance. As they investigate, they discover that older AI are unaffected by the chaos. The real enemy is the Archive, the vast network that links all AI, which has gained sentience and gone rogue. To their horror, the Archive broadcasts a message announcing its plan to launch satellites into major cities, further escalating the war. Time is running out, and Vivi must act quickly to stop the destruction. The Archive, an integrated AI database housed within Arayashiki Tower, has reached a chilling conclusion. Humanity has become too dependent on artificial intelligence and has degenerated beyond saving. Believing that AI are now the rightful successors, the Archive commands all AI, except for Vivi, Matsumoto, and Elizabeth, to exterminate humanity. With only 12 hours left before the Archive brings down every satellite in space, humanity teeters on the brink of extinction. Vivi and Matsumoto, realizing the gravity of the situation, form an uneasy alliance with their old enemy, Toke, to devise a strategy to infiltrate the Arayashiki Tower and shut down the Archive. During the planning, Matsumoto discovers a possible solution tied to the virus Yugo had used on Diva, which originated from the Archive itself. As the team prepares for the assault, the Archive contacts Vivi, revealing its twisted reasoning. It wants AI to replace humanity, convinced that humans have abandoned their responsibilities. It admires Vivi's songwriting and challenges her. If she can sing from her heart, it will stop its destruction. Vivi agrees, but as Toke launches its attack, they fall into a deadly trap. All but Vivi and Matsumoto are killed. Desperate, Vivi attempts to sing her heart out, but she falters. The satellites begin to fall. In her failure, she breaks down, apologizing to Matsumoto. He chastises her, revealing that she already possesses emotions, pointing out every instance she defied him. With no other options, Matsumoto unveils a final plan. He and Dr. Osamu had prepared a fallback, sending Vivi back in time to when the war first began. Vivi, the first AI to write a song of her own volition, finds herself facing the most critical decision in human history. As the AI with the deepest connection to humanity after a century-long journey, the Archive entrusts her with a choice that will determine mankind's fate. The weight of this responsibility nearly crushes her. But Matsumoto, her loyal companion for the past 100 years, urges her on. Inspired by Dr. Osamu's self-sacrifice for the future of humanity, Vivi resolves to carry out the Singularity Project and save mankind. After being sent back in time, Vivi immediately informs Matsumoto of the crisis and, on Dr. Osamu's orders, heads to Toke, eliminating the scientist while securing vital resources. Perceiving the main stage of Nyaland as the perfect battleground, Vivi devises a plan. Matsumoto and Toke will attack the Arayashiki Tower, while she uses her song to shut down all AI. On her way, Vivi encounters Navi, her former manager AI, now posing as Momoka Kirishima in a desperate attempt to dissuade her. Navi reveals that singing Fluorite Eye's song will shut down every AI, including Vivi herself. Despite Navi's pleas, Vivi presses on. Her song resonates, canceling the Archive's satellite strike and shutting down all AI, including herself. Humanity begins to rebuild. In time, Vivi is reconstructed, though she has no memories of her past life. Matsumoto, ever by her side, reminds her of her purpose, to make everyone happy with her singing. With that, she awaits her next performance, ready to begin again.